big, on by 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 big.
Young country boy, straight from the fucking hood. See on me, be my hood. All been to be my city. GA, be my state. Dirty South in your face. Dirty South underway. Dirty South country patient. Fucking with a real nigga. Eyes speak before the face. And I got skill. Did you make a whole face? I just trying to make a living, kicking sensei. Face card good in the hood. Yeah, some say the same. Then feel here. Ready loud, whip it clear. Modern day Shakespeare. Speed that literature on the grind, faithful, way past RSC, look past our leg, gotta get that off of me. Jostle society, soldier, IBBL, four corners, light and dark green, UNIT, soldier, vice G, soldier society, knowledge so deep.
On by big, 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 on by big.
On my business, she about business, she about business, on the grind getting it. We about business, we about business, we about business. They be on that bullshit, straight out that snake pit. Venom inside of me, hell inside of me, all a part of BNG. Gotta keep it real with my soul, don't fallacy. Gotta keep it still, I told like majesty, bright, fluorescent colors, feeling royalty. I at night rejoice, brethren, loyalty. Honestly, rider, we gonna be robbery, utterly, wisely, pray to Almighty. Scope it out, repeat, OMSB, live on a line at the end, G-O-D to the light, I see. Homie, gotta have faith, Franklin, Ben J, what it do, I say.
On by big, 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 on by big.
Let me say this from experience. As you move in life, when you elevate in life, you still gonna be tagged. You still gonna be discriminated against. You still gonna be stereotyped and judged. You know, I became a member of the Vice Lord Nation back in 1965. Yeah, 1965. And yeah, I did 3 years on death row. I was charged with 15 counts of murder, 2 attempted and moderation. And more, a majority of my witnesses were vice lords. I had to live that down. You know, my mother lived on the block over here that's named after her. On her very doorstep, my little 8-year-old nephew was gunned down by a vice lord. I had to live that down. You know, I went on, came out, when I come out the joint the last time, I was 30. Had never worked a day in my life. Never had a Social Security card. But I went on to sit in a GED class with a bunch of kids laughing at the questions I was asking, calling me pops. I refrained from hitting one of them little miles in the eyes. Yeah. But I had to persevere a lot. You know, my very first job, guys calling me a stool pigeon because I wouldn't steal out the warehouse. Wouldn't get high on my lunch break because I was serious about finishing parole for once in my life. I had to refrain from robbing the joint, sticking everybody up because I was made to feel. So I'm just saying, as you climb the ladder and you try to make this path, this righteous path, it can be a very lonely walk. And when I was making that transformation, it was other vice lords that was laughing at me. That shit ain't gonna work. Why you doing that? I remember running the Challenger and DJ, they said, man, you sound like a white boy. Because I'm not talking with all that tobacco in my mouth. You dig, you get me, you understand? All that's gone, man. So now they judge me. So it's gonna become a very lonely walk when you try to do this here. But don't get it twisted. When Bobby Gordon and them first started moving toward conservative vice lord corporation, it was a handful of them. All the other vice lords are still robbing, getting high. That's why they got the bad publicity they get. All vice lords wasn't part of that. Be clear about that. Just like what y'all doing now, all of them ain't gonna get on board. And society is a non-giving society. Now, I went on to get a GED finally, became a certified drug abuse counselor, got a degree in criminal mental health and substance abuse. I've been a director of the program to work with ex-offenders got drug problems. I've been a regional director. Got a master's degree in leadership development and education. Got a bachelor's degree in inner city studies. I'm a professor at a university, but I still get labeled as a vice lord. Can't shake it. So I'm saying to you, you're going to get discouraged along the way, and it's going to be by your own. Because see, that's what change is all about, is learning how to detach from those that's going to hold you back. My biggest struggle in the beginning was with my own brother. Been to the joint 6 times. Because I told him he needed to get some dope out of my mama's house and some pistols. Because he was jeopardizing them and their home. He looked at me like I lost my mind. How many of y'all done violated your parents' home? Because he used to me being up on it. But when I started changing, started setting new boundaries, he looked at me like I lost my mind. He wanted to come in my house high, strapped up. I'm like, no, you can't come around my kids like that. He looked like I done betrayed him. And I started seeing other brothers and they want to jump in my car, and I know he just probably robbed somebody that nobody else. No, you can't get in my car. You're a detriment to me. I'm driving with you. They don't tell who might shoot this car with you in it. You got to set these kind of boundaries. So if you ain't ready to set them kind of boundaries, on the sake of, but he one of the people, he cool with me, and all it take here in Chicago, all it takes is me to be driving here to where I'm going to my grandson's birthday party and run across a brother. Oh, Billy, why don't you give me a lift? I can let him in my car and see if my back brake lights ain't working. The police pull me over. He get to fidgeting, talking about he got a pistol on him and all that stuff. Who car they gonna pawn and tow and all that stuff? Not his. Who father gonna end up back in jail? Not his children, because it's in my name. So I gotta fall out with a lot of people to set those kind of boundaries. You follow what I'm saying? All right, so I offer this here to all of y'all. If you don't have a vision on how you want life to look like for you 5 years from now, you need to start thinking about it. Because see, having a vision forces you to set goals. Goals determine who you should be associated with and who you shouldn't be associated with. Goals to determine what you should be doing every day and what you shouldn't be doing. But you got to have it. And them goals give you something to thrive for. If you want to get your record seal, a record sponge, or clemency, then there's some things you got to do. You got to avoid getting arrested. You got to become crime-free. You got to be drug-free. You got to do those things. You got to be employed. You got to complete school. So when that file go in front of that committee to decide if you're going to get your record seal, they want to see what have you done since you've been home. Some things you got to do, it ain't just going to happen. So I offer this here to you. Whatever your goals is, whatever your vision is, the main thing you got to do if you live in a town like Chicago where people getting killed every hour on the hour, you got to stay alive. Here in Chicago, I got to master how do I stay alive. I can't get killed. So it takes a lot of humbling walking in stores and young brothers blocking the doorway, thinking like I'm bogus because I'm asking them to excuse me. And that old gangster in me want to raise up and like, man, you know, but I know when I cross that line, there ain't going to be no fight. He might as well come out the jury he got on, give me the keys to this car, get off this corner. That's a part of me that's still inside of me. But I got to practice how to keep that part of me dead, man. And play the bigger picture, because what I do going to impact a whole lot of people. You follow what I'm saying? And the second thing, to reach your goals, you got to avoid getting arrested. You ain't going to reach your goals locked up. So you got to think about, can you get killed hanging with certain people? in certain places, doing certain things. Can you get arrested hanging with certain people in certain places, certain things? And the third thing is, you ain't going nowhere high. All a high is you inhale a substance and put in your body, and it alters your mind and damages brain cells. That's what a high is. And when it's all over, that brain is still damaged. Right? So I use your own language. I just focus just on your hat. How many y'all believe in the hat, cane, the gloves, 5-point star, all that stuff? Y'all believe in that? I'll just stick with the hat. What is it? The shelter over your head, so you have to cleanse your mind. But the key thing is stop allowing your physical cravings, like your anger, your lust, your greed, your envy, control how you act. But learn how to think as a man, put mind over mind. But you got to master being a man and a woman of your word. Some of y'all probably broke your word to yourself this morning. Some of y'all probably had some plans you're going to do today, and thus far you probably broke your word already today. How many of y'all go through a day and violate your own word you say for yourself? See, we got to master being a man and woman of our word. Not just to ourselves, but to other people. And that's what that's about, living authentic. Because a lot of us function inauthentic. And we say things like, keep it real with me. But we ain't real with ourselves.
Stuck my head in a high five. Boy in that league and start trying. Follow me if you got time. Oh, Stuck my head in a high five. Boy in that league, you can start trying. Follow me if you got time. Oh, Blessings to those who know your name. To and fro from whence you came. Lord of lords and King of kings. Oh, The pyramid still standing tall. Lesson learned for each and all. Bigger they are, usually how they fall. Oh. So chill, right? I'm sitting out here talking to self while self was hollering at God. And God will let self know, like, yeah, it is a crazy coincidence. Like, everybody come to God with their problems, for help, blessings, or what have you. But who God go to when God need the vent? When God need to let some off his shoulders or get some off his chest. The Lord's consiglia. Yo, peace and love, y'all. Tune into another episode of the Lord consiglia with your host with the most, Lord Infinite, aka P100, BK, Test by Celeste, SKA, Mr. Gigante, so far, so on, where have you, know what I'm saying? Before we get into topic or whatnot we got going on, definitely got to shout out to business and stuff like that. Like, got like I said, we got the pendants in, you know what I'm saying, for the body, you know what I'm saying? Definitely reach out to the page. Reach out to the page on Facebook. Definitely, you see the site at the bottom, like for the merchandise, we do wholesale, like t-shirt, stuff like that, hoodies and all of that custom stuff, you know what I'm saying? Definitely tap in with the page and tap in with the program what we got going on, you know what I'm saying, for with Visionary Leader. But that's it for the business bit. Like I ain't gonna say break now, I definitely wanna speak about the video we played with the Honorable Bennett Lee. Like what I was just hearing out of that talk, me personally, like that Bible phrase, a quote, a scripture popped into my mind. Like when I was a child, I thought it was a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish deeds and things. And just hearing how brother Benedict was just putting that, it was like you definitely hear that grown man, like you accountable, you're responsible, you standing on your sword, you standing on your deen, like our Muslim brother say. So it's all about growth. Like where we see ourselves in the future. A lot of times we don't plan to be living that long, but we gotta plan to survive. Like our brother put, like we gotta plan to stay alive, man. And it just like some main thing stood out of me in that video. I ain't gonna say main thing, but a key thing was like you pointed that not all brothers sisters was on the path of doing something good. Like you even mentioned that not everybody was on the same wavelength of train of thought with Bobby Gore when he was on Land Dynasty or CBL or on Incorporated demonstration. Not all Lord was on the positive thing. He was like you still had one that part of the native part of the destruction or what have you going on. But it was like a few handful of people. Like it was always he always had a pockets of people that standing on that right, standing on that truth, like that God given mission, you know what I'm saying, they come to you know what I'm saying, the people that are people that are divine energy, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna I go ahead and say it, like us chosen people, like so like men are called on a few are chosen, and even if out of the few that chosen, only a few take a percentage take on that call and carry out their mission. But it was just like brother was saying that even in the midst of striving to white, he had like somebody Lord killed, you know what I'm saying, killed their own nephew, like I think 8-year-old child. And it was like with the war, like he faced so much adversity from his own kind. And that just beat like we were talking about on Monday, like I mean that energy like that, that envy always come from it from within. Like yeah, yo, damn, it sometimes be your own brother, but that was just a little reiteration on that video, but definitely with the tonight's topic, and definitely if y'all wanna get into the conversation, hit a comment or whatnot, inbox the page or where have you, and you know what I'm saying, I go about sending you the link to come on in and get on part of the conversation. But on night we talking about righteous versus I ain't gonna say righteous versus, but righteous and ratchet. I ain't gonna say I'm a firm believer of the Christian faith or whatnot, but I do read and lean upon the Bible a lot. But it's this scripture like too much of anything is bad for you. So even a lot of time in striving to be too righteous all the time, like that can be bad for you. Like we ain't like dead human nature. Like it's even in our body. Like a lot of times I see people like, okay, let's get on that alkaline water campaign, but our body is made out of both. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say made out of both. We got both alkaline and acid within our body. Alkaline is like the positive charge, positive side, you know what I'm saying, to the minerals or what have you, you know what I'm saying? The acid, like I guess what you can say like tear down type of thing, but our body composed of both acids and alkalines are balance. Just like you got hot and cold, you know what I'm saying, north, south, like all of these are different polarities of the same thing. So with righteous and ratchet, like in the world, like man, we all out here conscious in the world right now, man. It's a ratchet ass world, man. There's a lot of ratcheticity in high place. So even as a righteous individual, I should kind of a lot of things play with your faith. A lot of things play with your mindset because of what we dealing with out here. And I always meditate on the phrase where like Jesus will like get deep behind me, Satan. He ain't never say what's the word? He ain't never say get away, Satan, like banish Satan. He said get behind me. Meaning that Satan that never leave, like he gonna always be it, but you gotta be able to put him in check. You gotta be able to put that spirit behind you. You don't necessarily say that spirit leave. So it's like you might as well just scrub in. Like you got that positive, kind of like what a lot of these cartoons depict. You got that angel on one shoulder, you got that devil on the other shoulder, and a lot of ancient texts say the like with that wolf, that concept of that wolf, like we got two wolves on the inside of, and whoever went about is one we feed most. And when we were talking about Monday, like with the servant two master, like man, it's a wicked ass world, like family, and that road led travel is led travel for a reason. And we wanna and coming into your mission, your passion, your calling, like getting atonement with that energy, ain't gonna be at that point like you know what I'm saying, you the elevator in that water like that, like what I was saying Monday, like the devil or that energy, that shit hate everything righteous. That shit hate everything good. Like it ain't really no like they didn't like saying that that whole energy of whether we equate that motherfucker got kicked out of heaven. He didn't just they didn't just say, man, you gotta go, you know what I'm saying, like pack your bag. It was a whole war. Like shit to the point that that good ain't gonna never be on the force of evil. I mean, like they them two different energy field. We gotta realize that. Like a lot of times we say, okay, they come together, like all of they come together, but it's a lot of evil motherfuckers on this side. Like you gotta realize, like, you gotta be conscious of who that rider is in that individual. You gotta look like we saying even in our own demonstration, we striving to be second to Allah. Much love. Stay righteous with all the ones that for what's better for us. Much love. Stay righteous. I don't even understand your question. How you word in that family say much love, stay righteousness with all the one that for what's better for, man. What's going on, Carefree, man? It's Almighty Lord J. Cole. And I see you, brother. You know, it's Almighty Lord, but yeah, I ain't understanding your own question. The ugly truth. You say much love, stay right with all the ones that's for what's better for us. But like I don't know, like just thinking, I just thinking where I think you going with this, like we're the ones that right. I mean, you gotta have that discernment. Like when I came into knowledge, like you really gotta go through some family. You really gotta go through some shit, and like well, you able to see, like you able to see, like from you able to see with them with that third eye type of thing. Like it's so wicked out here. A lot of people playing both sides, playing the end to the middle. So when you saying like we're the ones that are for us, you gotta really find that God on side of you first. Like say no longer when I have to inquire you on the outside or in the sky for who God is, for it be written on our hearts and our inward mind. But we'll know from the least of us to the greater of us. Like you gotta tap into that energy, whether you go through whatever religion concept you go through. Like a lot of time, it ain't really about the vehicle; it's about the ride. Like long as that ride, you know what I'm saying, taking you to an elevation and getting you closer to being that with one with yourself. Like God is of the living, so whatever vehicle take you to that center where you able to find out who you is, like you'll be able to tap into that passion, tap into that level of yourself, and you'll know what for you and what ain't. It's a lot of uh, uh, the real journey is the original vision, building with our own community. Yeah, I definitely let's see. I love us, gotta better us and love one another. Yeah, you definitely right, but like that's what I feel short too. Like we definitely gotta love us, but we gotta realize it's an energy out here that just hate us for no reason, family. Like you can't get past that. Like if you be blind to that fact, that's why I just brought up that conversation with the angel, you know what I'm saying, demon fighting in the heaven. Like what, you know what I'm saying? Shit, I ain't gonna say everything was all good in heaven or whatnot, but the devil, he felt like he can do a better job than God. He felt like he had more of an understanding, more of a intellectual capacity on how to manipulate people. He felt like he was better than God. Like that ultimately what the war started about. Like the ego, he felt he was better. He felt he could do a better job. So when we talking about like us on the lower level, like even though that y'all can say that's a fiction story or whatnot, but that energy and you know what I'm saying, that dialogue that exists in everything. Ain't gonna always be that energy of somebody feeling like they can do it better than the person in charge. Like, you know, always gonna be that energy, but you gotta plan for that. But that's that devil energy. You gotta understand that. Like we're gonna love each other, but we don't want to blind. We don't want to be blind in our love. I'm gonna cash out you. It's all love. Shit, but they got me blocked on Cash Out, family. Just Zelle, PayPal. You can shop at the merchandise visionary leaders over dot store. You know what I'm saying? You can go to the website, but yeah, they got me blocked on Cash Out. Like, yeah, I don't know. They new setup. They get you by social and stuff like that. So I can't even create no new Cash Out. You know what I'm saying? Cause it's attached to your social. But yeah, you can support the book, support the you know what I'm saying, support the campaign. That's how, you know what I'm saying, that's how we'll pay that for it. But as far as like going back into the balance thing, it's a balance. Like you can't, like in our mind, you can't really be. It ain't no sad thing at being right. Like even our mind don't even work like that. Like we ain't always positive all the time. We ain't always ratchet all the time. But it's a whole balance. It's a whole situation where that shit cycle, but we gotta be conscious of that. Even in the book, it's like out of the mind, the most evil shit come to man, and out of the tongue, we have, you know what I'm saying, out of the tongue, like we have the power of life and death. It's all love. I show through my aspect. That love, family. Man, keep doing what you're doing. I definitely gotta keep God in the mix, man. Like that definitely, like, as long as it come from God, family, like, as long as that, whatever that God of your understanding, like, you gotta tap into that. Like, that's what I realized too. A lot of don't, hey, this ain't really no church, no philosophical conversation or nothing like that, but the reality is, a lot of, we got a different perspective of who and where God is. We, you know what I'm saying, let somebody tell us what, then we go off a lot of times, somebody else interpretation of what it is. But when we start, like the more we read, the more we learn ourselves, the more we understand just how shit work. Like you understand God. But sometimes like you gotta go through something, like whether it be sitting in a cell or getting your heart broke or something you gotta. That's why like I realized this though, like with growing pains. That's why I call it growing pains. You know what I'm saying? It's a pain. It be pain to grow. It's a pain to grow sometimes, whether it be mental or really, you know what I'm saying, anatomically, like it's growing pain, man. So it's like you gotta Gotta be mindful of that. But it like you gotta understand that balance though. Everything is about balance. As above, so below is within, so without. Like it's a balance to everything, not just life, but even the universe. It's a balance to all of it. Even our chakras, you know what I'm saying? If you get into that level of understanding, you know what I'm saying, it's a balance in those chakras. But I ain't gonna be too long winded all the way. Like anybody else had any questions, you know what I'm saying, not in the comments, anybody wanted to chime in, definitely let me know while we got a little time left on the app. Outside of that, but yeah, we gonna keep building, you know what I'm saying? Visionary leader that with power, but the platform power by the particular show, this the Lois Consiglia, cause it's like this, a lot of time, even being that vision or being in our level, when we get into knowledge or so again to the level, like a lot of people like to use our wisdom or use our talks against us. It ain't just about us as black people, but sometimes like people like to use our words against us. So a lot of time be hard for us in different positions to vent like that. You know what I'm saying? Cause we gotta be conscious. We gotta be conscious of what we saying. So consigliere, like an advisor, like I do speak. I do. I ain't gonna quote unquote like in the Orthodox method. I do minister to a lot of people. Like a lot of people, I'm what I'm finding out. Like listening to what I'm saying. They find some type of connection to the thing that I do speak about. I mean, personally, I'm big on economics. I'm big on. I did a lot of the community on activism. I did a lot of showing up, like feeding the homeless, community cleanups. I done did a lot of things like that, rallies and marches. But the main thing that I came into contact with the cause was that a lot of ones suffer like on their money game. A lot of people don't really know how to play their money game, and different level come with different devils, and I just see that on different. Like the more you rise in that money, a lot of times we just got an elementary level or process of money. Like, okay, I know how to, like, I'm working on making money, but we don't understand the whole system and institution of money. Like, yeah, you can read a lot of books, you can get in all to that, but you gotta, like, your mind, like, you gotta really grasp that concept of that. Like, you gotta look, like, I ain't gonna say I'm against capitalism. I do understand the need of capitalism, but I understand how shiesty it can get. Cause you gotta realize though, like if it wasn't no money system, I'm saying it'll be complete anarchy. Like it'll be survival of the fittest. Like whoever whoever got the strongest soldiers or whatnot, that's who gonna be in power. But the money game it kind of give you it kind of create an illusion. It kind of create a more safe system, but it still get competitive. It still get, you know what I'm saying, barbaric and all of that, but it's still more civilized, like when we get into the system of money, but it's still barbaric. So it's like you gotta understand, like you gotta be able to understand that. And that's and their credit game, that's just an extension on their money game. I love you. I love you, fam. I'm about to go to the store and come back unless you about to end the live, and if not, I'm trying to spend our money with her. That's what BG would want. Yes, indeed. Rest in peace, the honorable beat Barbara Gore. But definitely, fam, man. We're gonna get ready to close this thing out there. Like I said, we're gonna tap in Friday. We're gonna do Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. We got a special guest Friday, wherever y'all stay tuned, man. It's love. It's always undone, man. So chill, right? I'm sitting out here talking to self, while hollering at God. And God will let self know, like, yeah, it is a crazy coincidence. Like everybody come to God with their problems, for help or blessings or what have you. But who God go to when God need to vent? When God need to let some off his shoulders or get some off his chest. The Lord's consiglia.